Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2, MUFC versus IG. Both of these teams very much fighting for their playoff lives in this tournament. For anyone who doesn't know, the tournament format is as follows. The top 3 teams from each group will advance. So, out of our 16 group stage teams, 12 of those will make it to the next round. The only team knocked out so far is Moscow 5. They are knocked out. They will not be advancing that playoff bracket. MUFC and IG both are 1-1 in this group right now. Whoever wins this match is guaranteed to advance. The other team, they're going to have a tiebreaker with Mouse Sports because they'll both be 1 and 2. Only one of those teams can move on. I'm not sure right now if Mouse had a chance at winning that tiebreaker, but we'll find out soon enough. We'll have the announcement as far as who makes out of the group probably in the next day or two. But for now, for MUFC, they're fighting to hang on here. They are on the Radiant up against IG, and this time IG banned the Lycan. They've gotten it every game. It is the first pick for MUFC. IG is showing here they're happy to play it themselves. They don't want to give it away. And well, I gotta say, although IG win that game with a Lycan, I still don't think their Lycan has been working out very well. So maybe it's in their own best interest that they can't pick it up here. To me, that game was all about the one big team fight. The Enigma, as well as the Sand King. And sure, Lycan did a lot of damage there, but I think a lot of other carries could have provided that as well. The one thing I'll say is when you win a team fight with Lycan, you get multiple towers and or racks. So we saw it in that game. They won first that team fight. That pushes out all the lanes. The next team fight they win, they get a lane of Rex mid. They have total map control. So maybe it is a strong hero, but we've seen them lose with it quite a bit this tournament. Quite a bit today, in fact. So either way, no like in this game. Naga Siren continues to be banned. One hero to keep your eyes on for MUFC, though. And this is a hero Nick has been dominant with. A hero he loves to play. He's been very effective with. It's the Templar Assassin for him. It's still in the pool. MUFC have to have their eyes on it. They don't ban it. They ban Panda instead. Smart ban versus IG, who definitely know how to use that Panda. Well, if Nick gets his hand on Templar Assassin, and actually let me say, this is the one thing about that last game. Especially for MUFC, they were on very awkward roles. Ling was not playing the jungler. Net was not playing support. Nick was not playing the hard carry. No, sorry, Nick was playing the hard carry. Sharky was not playing that semi-carry / support role. They were all in different positions pretty much, except for Nick, who was still on the hard carry. Just didn't really make it work as much as he would have liked playing the Clinks that game. So this time around, maybe we'll see some more standard positions. That's what I'm expecting out of MUFC. The hero picks could be the same, but the players, as far as who plays what, I expect to be a little bit different. Off the bat, they get a Prophet, and IG have that Invoker for Ferrari, and no, they don't want it. They want the Templar Assassin. I was so sure. Ferrari, for anyone who doesn't know, I mean, not only does he have a very respected, sort of world-renowned Invoker from Dota 1, but in Dota 2, he is 5-0 with that Invoker. And if you haven't already watched the series where they played up against Mouse Sports, IG versus Mouse, game 2 and 3, Ferrari won those games for his team pretty much single-handedly. And the way he did it was primarily 4 staff initiation, pushing the enemy players out of position into his own team, and that won them the game. But it wasn't just the 4 staff usage. It was great Sunstrike placement, good use of the spells, the Cold Snap, lane control, everything he did it well. And for MUFC, well, again, they go for the early jungler. Last time around, Sharky handled that. I really expect it'll be Ling this time, but we will have to see. For IG, they get Templar, and the one thing I've seen from IG, they are loving their team fight today. So, in the past, we've seen them go for heroes like Night Stalker, Broodmother, more of a split push kind of ganking-oriented style. But today, it seems like it's the Enigma, it's the Panda Brewmaster. The big team fights are what they want. Shadow Demon. So, okay, we're going to see Jungle Wars now. Chen up for IG, Enchantress up for MUFC. And Prophet is the X Factor here. Both teams having their jungler. The thing about it is, even if you have a pretty even battle early on, Enchantress can have multiple creeps, so she'll have the advantage if she matches up against Chen 1v1, and then you throw Prophet on top of that, as well as Venomancer, who I would say is even more powerful than Shadow Demon at these very early levels as a support, because Gale, 15 seconds slow. So good for chasing heroes down, but it might not be a support Venomancer. This is a game where it could very easily be a solo mid Venomancer to try and deal with that Templar Assassin. Now for IG, we saw them throw Templar Assassin up into the safe lane, up into that top lane, in fact, in the one game where they ran him in the previous series, or ran her in the previous series. So we could see that again. Maybe Templar won't be mid. For IG, maybe they're just going to try and dodge that matchup, which DK has demonstrated. Venomancer crushes TA 1v1. And of course, even if it is that 1v1, there's always the X factors. There's always the Enchantress, the Chen, and the Prophet. These heroes who can be the +1 or +2 to any fight and look to change things up. MUFC, they see what IG has. They have a jungler, they have one hero who's going to farm in the Templar, and they have a support. That means what do they need? They need a solo hero. They need another farming hero. Whether TA will solo or whether she'll be in a dual lane with the Shadow Demon, either way, she will be a farmer, which means IG need at least one solo. So what does MUFC do? They ban out the low druid.
Remaining.
Still, there are strong, very strong solo heroes in the pool. Queen of Pain, Windrunner.
Reserve time.
Who else is actually available? Broodmother. Broodmother. That was another one I mentioned earlier. That was the one I was thinking of. She's available as well. So solo heroes right now are a priority for both teams to ban. After the second stage of picks, where is IG going to go? One hero to keep an eye on. I mentioned it earlier. It's the it's the Enigma. As apparently my voice is struggling a bit today, guys. Hope you don't mind the occasional squeaks. Think of it as a rusty door hinge that needs to be oiled. If only I could spray a can of WD-40 on my throat, but somehow I feel like that might be slightly toxic, so I'm going to avoid that for today. Nonetheless,
10 seconds
still, from neither of these teams, there's really no team fight. Last game, we saw a Darkseer, we saw an Enigma, a Sand King. It was some big team fights. Plus, oh, by the way, Rubik is available, and that's another here to keep your eyes on. Every time IG pick it, it's Chuan playing it, and it's in a support role. This time around, if they picked it, I have to feel Shadow Demon and Chen are your supports. In which case, we get to see Chuan maybe farming with that Rubik, which I would love to see. To me, that would be an absolute delight and a pleasure to watch. But again, there's also Windrunner, and that's one of Chuan's other signature heroes. Who was playing the Templar? For IG, it was Ferrari last time. It seems like Templar is another hero that most teams just have a guy who handles it. Mouse Sports, it's Sexy Bambo. Quantic Gaming, it's Korok. And for MUFC, it's Nick. So for IG, it seems Ferrari will just be the one who plays that Templar Assassin. Also Invoker, another strong solo. And I mentioned it for Ferrari. Nope, IG going to ban that one out.
Radiant team pick.
And I think it's a very smart ban, because MUFC, they need a solo. More importantly, you deny the double global power, the Prophet, the Invoker, Enchantress, and Veno roaming around, setting up ganks, getting kills. So now the question becomes for MUFC, who will be their carry? We saw Klink's not working out last game. Not sure this is, I feel like this might be an even worse game for him. Just because Templar Assassin will negate a lot of his power with that refraction, with her burst damage. Shadow Demon always available to help keep a hero safe with disruption. The Demonic Purge to slow the Klinks down. And Chen to try and push his towers. Klinks is not very good at stopping pushes, so I feel like this isn't really a Klinks game. Maybe they'll look towards the Morphling. Lone Druid got banned by MUFC. That's a hero that they often put Nick on. And it is Nick's hero we're looking at right now. Who will he be playing? Morphling, the most likely candidate. Obsidian Destroyer, an option. I don't think it's a good choice against Templar, though. No, it's a Lifestealer. Ooh. Okay, well, for MUFC, this gives them a lot of landing flexibility. Lifestealer going to be one of the core farmers. That's a given. He can jungle. We saw it work. Who was that? Absolute Legends, I think it was. Where they ran a jungle Lifestealer, and he comes out of the jungle earlier this tournament. 23, 24 minutes. Maybe I'm getting the team wrong. It was a Western team. They ran the Lifestealer, and it basically, his team did nothing, or he did nothing all game except farm and farm. He got a quick Midas. He farmed literally all game, and finally at the very end of the game, he gets a couple of kills. But he really didn't offer much to contribute. Still, the way we normally see Lifestealer played is as a lane farmer, and especially with Enchantress and Prophet. It looks like we should see and a Lifestealer getting farm in the lane. Maybe a Venomancer solo, maybe as a support. Prophet, one of your solo heroes as well. And then Enchantress in the jungle. And the question becomes, how does Lifestealer actually stack up against Templar Assassin? The slow is very nice to Kiter, but I don't think he really deals with refraction well. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on Venomancer to shoot through those refraction charges as quickly as possible. The minus armor will be helpful against Lifestealer. I gotta say, I don't think Lifestealer is a hard counter by any means, but I think he's a decent one. He's tanky. He doesn't have bad armor. He normally goes for some armor on his own hero in the form of an armlet. Armor. In the form of an armlet of Mordigin, however you say that. Armlet. That's what it's called. As well as, sometimes a Helm of the Dominator, just some more lifesteal to work with. And more frequently we see Assault Cuirass. Tidehunter is the pick for MUFC. They get some team fight now. They get a counter to that Enigma ultimate. As well as some more chase. Still not much AoE, or excuse me, not much damage over time. And against Templar Assassin. Ooh, and Undying for IG. Oh boy. How are they going to lane this? It's got to be mind games for both teams. It's not just about where they want to lane the heroes, it's about where they expect their opponents to lane them. Like I said for IG, you don't really want the Templar Assassin to match up against Venomancer. And you probably don't want your Chen matched up against Enchantress in the jungle, especially with Venomancer there, Prophet there to provide that support. Even Tidehunter could be scary. So I feel like IG are trying to dodge a lot of bullets. Probably we'll see Enigma in the off lane. Will we? Maybe it'll be an offensive tri-lane? Yeah, this could be an Enigma solo mid. It could be a Templar Assassin top solo. And against Prophet she'll be fine if that's the matchup. Against an offensive tri-lane from MUFC, she'll be happy. So that's my prediction. IG with the offensive tri-lane. Undying, Shadow Demon, as well as Chen. Enigma in the middle lane, or maybe top, and then Templar in whichever one the Enigma's not. Either way, we're about to find out. YYF will be playing that Undying. Once again, Ferrari handling the Templar Assassin. Joe going to be playing that jungler. Although it might not be a jungler this game. In fact, it won't be. But he'll play the Enigma. Chuan on the jungler. He'll be playing the Chen. Faith playing that Shadow Demon. And like Atri says, it should be a very interesting game. TFG on that support for MUFC. Playing the Venomancer. Ling going to be on the Lifestealer. Sharky again playing the jungler. So MUFC just want to change the roles up. And Net once again going to be playing that solo hero. Looking for the early levels and farm. And Nick, of all players, will be on the Tidehunter. But it looks like it will be a farming Tidehunter. Stout Shield picked off the bat. Maybe a defensive tri-lane from MUFC. And for IG, they want to protect their jungle. So off the bat, 5 heroes go into the defensive jungle position. For MUFC, it's only 3, so they're not as worried about protecting it. In fact, it might be Ling solo mid. Would they really put him mid? Well, if he's up against TA, he'd have a pretty decent time of it. The thing about it is, Lifestealer, the armor is low for him, but because he has Feast, because he has Rage, which gives you that big attack speed bonus, the magic immunity, it allows him to deal with ganks pretty well. Malefice coming in won't concern him too much. Chen won't concern him unless he's got a netting creep, the Dark Troll Warlord, which does go through Rage. And he's also got open wounds to slow down that TA if he needs to run. And that's our matchup. Ferrari mid, bottle rushing. Ling mid as well, not rushing the bottle, just going for some plus stats. And to look at the base damage, 68 versus 59. Early on at that level 1, Ling should have a decent time in terms of last hitting. I still think TA has the edge here if it's a solo, but I don't think it's a horrible advantage. It looks like it should be a dual lane. Yeah, TFG's coming mid. Okay, so we have Net up top, soloing that lane. We have a dual lane mid, and this is going to be miserable. Absolutely miserable for Ferrari. Double slow, damage over time between the Gale, as well as the Poison Sting. Eventually the wards as well. Ferrari already getting aggressive, force back immediately. He'll ward place down. Ferrari had to have spotted that one. But this means great lane control here. Defensive jungle for Enchantress, defensive jungle for Chuan as well, playing the Chen. And in comes the illusions from Undying, trying to do a bit of scouting. Okay, so I think it's fair to say Ferrari should not have fun bottom lane. Or middle lane. And bottom lane, it's Nick up against Joe. Joe should have a bit of an advantage here in terms of last hitting. But Tidehunter with Anchor Smash could harass really hard. Stout Shield helping the tank. So I want to say fairly even on the bottom lane. Especially since Enigma has to be worried about these Enchantress ganks. And speaking of them, early smoke of the sea picked up. Sharky either wants to push or turn a gank into a push. That's why you go for the quick rain of Basilius and the smoke. And that's going to do some cute low ground to high ground jungling now. Unfortunately, there are no creeps here. Did Faith actually block it? What happened there? We'll have to see the next time around if that spawns. I mean, it's not blocked by this ward. This definitely doesn't block it. It was either a body block or they farmed it without me noticing. But I don't think they did. I think it was just a body block.
Not for you.
So I'm guessing that was Faith, in which case heads up play by him, denying that Prophet, the low ground to high ground farm. He's trying to do whatever he can to get levels, but here we go, the push happening. Undying gonna get a great farm up top. YYF should. He's only 3-3. Pretty bad last hitting, but I mean, Undying has really good base damage, good animation. He should have a pretty great time there. Very passive start to this game overall. I'm actually surprised MUC have not already gone on Ferrari. To me, you should be going on from level 1. Open wounds and into a gale and just start right-clicking him down. That early refraction is not going to do anything for you. 3 charges dispelled by auto attacks. Not even mentioning the damage over time. Haystrom picked up by Joe. Headed down towards the bottom lane. Nick getting cute with the anchor smash. Thought Joe might run into him, but he's not going to. 10-0 for Enchantress, and Ferrari is getting aggressive mid. He went for early boots. I thought it would be a bottle, but I mean, that's what you expect with the starting build, but I love this adjustment. He needs every bit of move speed. In fact, he's getting aggressive here on TFG. There's the Gale, counter initiation, no points to meld. Ferrari has to be careful. Ling doesn't know it though, so he should be okay. A big dive down bottom, Gush, animation canceled, Tornado driving everything back. Tower starting to take some damage. Early Renaissance will help you out a lot in this regard. The Alpha Wolf is going to go down. They don't really have the creep wave just yet, but here we go. Smoke gank from Chuan as well as Faith, going for the backstab. I gotta say, Net is not the best hero to deal with this. Prophet can try and TP out. There's nothing to cancel it. That's the one concern here. If Net gets off that quick TP, he should survive. And look at the positioning by Net. Running back. Mid lane, Ferrari's still okay. Bottom lane, Joe is playing it safe. So this is the trade-off. On the one hand, IG go for the smoke gank. They waste a lot of time where they're not really pushing the tower. As a result, the tower's full HP. On the bottom lane, they don't even bother with it. They just go straight in for the damage on the tower. It's already down to half. Big waste opportunity for IG, and it's one of those things where nobody dies. You don't see a huge difference on the gold graph in terms of hero kills. But we're still seeing that gold lead for the Radiant, as well as, more importantly, the map control lead. In fact, Prophet TP's in. Oh, and he's going to dodge that 3-man. Instead, he's going to go for Joe, and Joe is screwed. Only the bottle for him, and in the off lane, that is not going to keep you alive. First blood claimed by Net. And despite not being able to defend this push, he hits level 4. Oh, sorry, level 3. Smoke was actually used. Misclick by Sharky had to have been. Actually, he might have been worried about the Eidolons and just trying to dodge the damage from them. That's a possibility, but the tower will take a fall. In exchange for the tower up top, who's going to get the last hit? It's Nick who gets the one on bottom, and Nick is already level 5, very close to that Ravage. For IG, the last hit claimed by YYF, who's level 5 as well, getting close to 6.
Yourselves.
Ferrari only 4. I'm still very surprised. MUFC, I think it's a big waste, to be honest. Well, no, they're a big farm advantage for lane, so he's getting great farm, but to me, it's not the full potential of this lane. I feel like this lane can get kills if they have early Sentry Wards, which they don't. I mean, maybe this is where you have Ling by them if you need to. Venomous Gale, Poison Sting, as well as wards, and 2 points of Poison Sting. That means it will proc Refraction. 10 damage is over the minimum limit, the damage minimum requirement of 5. And here we go. They want Net. No, they just want the tower. So whereas for MUFC they take one tower, they're content with that. IG forced the issue. Oh, they're going in on Net here. Test of Faith, Soul Catcher not going to hit. YWF hanging the tower, he gets the last hit. TP in by Tide. Nick's only level 5 though, this is Intimidation TP, it's not really a gank. Oh, and the send back with the Shadow Demon. YYF just skates on out of there. He'll be pretty happy. Big dive mid, they get Ferrari. Finally, they find their moment and they go for it. Feast level 2, 1 point open wounds, 1 point rage. And look at the levels in Venomancer, already level 5. It goes back to the 20 denies on the Lifestealer. They are keeping Ferrari down, and we have seen when Ferrari gets kept down, IG can struggle at times. It's sort of similar to what we see out of Dare, where G, God killed them all. If he gets off to that great start, Dare are unstoppable, but if Ferrari has a bad time, he can struggle. So he rotates up top instead. He's going to be landing 1v1 against Prophet. I really like this rotation. I mean, YYF although he's a tanky hero, Lifestealer is really good at countering them. So it's not really a great matchup, but the key thing is Ferrari doesn't have the matchup from hell anymore. He just has this difficult one. Or an even matchup up top. So it's still a difficult lane for IG mid, but IG should be able to stop the push, especially with this Tombstone Max. Early level 6 claim by Nick. He's already got Arcane Boots. And this is where you want to go fight. You want to use this Ravage as soon as it's up. This is why you give Tidehunter experience. Anchor Smash is nice for the farm. It's a decent lane control hero. But here we go. Prophet TP's in. Joe, Gush to start. Will he go for the Black Hole? Malefice on Nick. Looking for it. TP in. Black Hole on 2. Tombstone on top of it. As well as the Soul Rip. The Decay, sorry. Ravage counters it all. And YYF is too tanky. MUFC, if Rosa underestimates this here, I think no. Disruption. Nick is the tank. Apparently, TP out from him. No way to cancel it. He should get away. And now it's Sharky on the back foot, looking to retreat out. Soul Catcher onto Sharky. The chase continuing. Shadow Poison being spammed. Will it be enough? No, doesn't look like it. But the TP away from mid. Chuan's forced to come in. Ling continues his fantastic farm. 25 denies. Chuan, Gale, as well as the Rage Pop with the TP in will force them back. Fortunately for MFC, no Black Hole. The Eidolon's doing the damage. Shockwave. Where's that Shockwave? Already used. TFG. Oh, the body block onto Ling. Whoa, great play there from IG, and they get the kill. 3-2 is the score. Very even game so far. Gold, experience. It's hard to say who had the advantage. Net went for boots early, did not rush the Hanamites, could still go for it. We've seen so many Prophets, they won't rush it. It won't be a naked Hanamites, but get the basics up. Get your boots, get your... Oh, tower denied, not gonna go from Joe.
Middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, get the basics up, then go back for that Midas. We even saw an 18-minute Midas working out for DK. Might have even been 20 minutes, in fact. Yeah, I want to say it was about 20 minutes. And, well, if you get a 20-minute Midas, it doesn't pay for itself on its own until 38 minutes in. It takes about 18 minutes for Hanamites to pay for itself. Generally speaking, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more. And Lane, despite a pretty good... I mean, the last hits are a little lacking, but the denies are amazing. But he's going to go for utility. He goes for the drums. He wants to get active early. This is not a build you go for if you want to be that hard carry. This shows that MUFC, and it fits with their playstyle, they want to be aggressive here. They want to go for kills. The question is, can they find them? I'm not sure they can. Chen, almost level 6. Couple of creeps can always send heroes back to base. Disruption, Tombstone, the heals as well as the Black Hole. So much defensive capabilities for
bottom
IG.
tower is under attack.
And Ferrari with that early single point meld, max refraction, they can do this. They can go for Roshan quick and early. They have the damage, they have the tank. And will MUFC react in time? 8 seconds to go on Ravage, and Faith is willing to throw his life away just to zone them back. Disruption on the Tidehunter should be enough to secure this Roshan. Oh, it's getting close. Ferrari grabs the Aegis and then charges in, but Lane is doing the damage. Ravage, actually a pretty good Ravage, hitting on multiple heroes. Ferrari's still alive, remember, has the Aegis. No Black Hole for 30 seconds. Enigma needs to stay alive. Look at the cleaves from Ferrari. 3 heroes taking a lot of damage. TFG goes down. 2 heroes down. Nick forced to TP out. Oh, MUFC. Oh, he gets away. He escapes. Oh, Nick. Ballsy TP there. Monitoring everybody's disables. Mainly the Shadow Demon. Oh, Chuan. Chuan. Overextends, and Ling has himself a little chuckle. Gets the kill. Still, if we take stock of that fight, 2 heroes for Chen, who, by the way, spent pretty much all his gold, headdress, and the buckler recipe. No, sorry, not all his gold, but a good chunk of it. Buckler recipe, he's not too far off from a mech. Expect to see that at 13-14 minutes. Joe, if he wants the Blink Dagger, he's got it soon. He went for a lot of regen. No Soul Rain for him, just Arcane Boots and Bottle. Whatever he wants, he's getting close to it. Whether it's a Hood working towards the pipe, whether it's a BKB, he's got a good chunk of it. Or the Blink Dagger. To me, that's the likely candidate.
Is under attack.
YYF just tanking up, so yeah, I think we might see a Hood out of the Enigma. It wouldn't surprise me. Undyne is a great candidate to carry that Hood, but if you go for the early Vitality booster, he might just be trying to go for raw HP and let the supports get the team or the Gush on the YYF. This is not a hero they can kill. Tombstone should go down soon. Waiting for the rotation in. TP back to the second tower. Glyph was used. If they want to fight this, they got to get in here soon. And now with the ultimate pop by YYF and the secondary TPs, MUFC forced back. I feel like MUFC don't want to take a fight right now, especially with the Aegis up on Ferrari, the Black Hole having respawn, having comeback off cooldown, I should say. And Ferrari is way behind in items, only phase boots despite having that Aegis, but Templar Assassin is fairly item independent. We've seen Blink Dagger on that hero. That's sort of your core item if you want that jump, that initiation. Or just a damage item like a Desolator, a tank item like a BKB. But, I mean, most of the damage comes from Refraction, it comes from Meld, it comes from the side blades. You don't need the big damage to be a big impact in the early game. And you get the damage when you get a couple kills when you win a fight. So I think it's okay that Ferrari doesn't really have that farm. Especially with the backup he's getting. Enigma, 4,500 gold earned. Undying, 3,900. IG, they pressure mid and then they back off, but this is where Net will be happy as that prop, and he can pressure bottom lane. Might is just about online. I think that's what we'll see from him. Although there's no mech, there's nobody to build that really. I mean, Enchantress could, TFG could, but TFG's broke. Nick, Vitality Booster, so he won't be building it. And Sharky would be the last candidate, but it looks like he's going for an Urn, so maybe this is going to be a mech out of... Yeah, it is. He's not going to go for Midas. Okay. This is definitely a departure after watching how DK play the Prophet, even going for the 20-minute Midas. So this one would have been 13, so a hell of a lot earlier. But we could see the mech up and then back into the Midas. The 20-minute Midas might be an option yet for Net if he wants to go that route. It's not that I don't like mech. I'm not criticizing it. I'm just pointing out that it's a different build. I mean, mech in this game, pretty important to have against Templar, who relies on burst. Against Enigma, I mean, IG are sort of a one-shot combo. They have some good team fights, some good chase, but primarily it's about the Black Hole and the Tombstone. And those few big cleaves, the meld crits, or the meld splashes from side blades that you look to get during that Black Hole. A lot does rest on Joe's shoulders here. He's got to find a good opening, because they have no lockdown, really. Just a Malefice and a Disruption. Whereas if you look towards the MUFC, they've got a lot of slows, they've got a Sprout, they've got this open wounds, as well as the Gale, the ultimate from Venomancer. They have a little bit more to work with. Oh, top lane. Net gets netted up, how appropriate. TP scroll cancelled, big test of faith! He still gets away though, and the BKB claimed by Joe. Slow reactions from the Tidehunter, maybe a bit of lag in middle lane. TFG looking for the TP. He is not going to get it. Big shadow damage. Poison damage there. Burning him down, as well as I believe a Soul Rip. Yeah, it's a max Soul Rip. So when we saw EG play the Undying, I believe Fear actually went for a Decay max. This is really powerful in the laning stage. Not as useful in the team fights and in a push-oriented strat. I think that's where... Oh, Gush in. They want Joe. Open wounds as well. Nick wants more than one. Defensive Disruption. Could go for the immediate Black Hole if he wants it. No, the blink away. Will everyone escape? Ravage completely wasted. Oh, Nick. Oh, no. Oh, no. And they're with the Ravage wasted. IG have all the time in the world. They now have about 2 minutes to do whatever the hell they want. In fact, sorry, over 2 minutes. And MUFC should not be chasing, should not engage. I gotta say for Ling, the item progression, very lacking. Look at the farm here. It's Tidehunter by far out in front. Nick with 89 creep. Some of those are Eidolon, some of those are zombies, which I believe do count as well.
Come to me.
Net actually uses his buckler. To me, this is just maybe a misclick, but more likely just a sign of impatience here. I feel like MUFC are getting a little bit frustrated, especially after missing that Ravage. They want to make anything happen, but look at the lane. I mean, it's so pushed in. Even by the time you kill off this creep wave, you're going to lose a tier 1 in exchange. It's not a great trade here. I mean, maybe you get a tier 1 top if you're lucky, but you definitely give one a bottom. Oh, by the way, I missed it, but Ferrari has a blink. TP out force from Net. Net should be able to get away. He will. But that means the mech gonna have to travel all the way out and then all the way back to base. Tier 1 drops bottom. IG exerting their dominance, gaining that map control, and not giving anything up. Not giving up the top tower, not giving up the mid tower. IG have been pretty good about defending their towers, and that's the weakness of MUFC's lineup. I mean, the hard carry is not a Morphling, it's not really a great split pusher. It's a hero that just wants to chase, wants to kind of tank up in the fights. And that doesn't really counter IG's playstyle too well. IG, they kind of group up, and if you can't beat them in a team fight, what do? I mean, you can't really split push that effectively. Prophet's okay, but there's not that secondary pusher. There's no Broodmother, there's no Morphling. I do feel, although it's only a slight lead, well, actually it's a pretty big lead. Who am I kidding? 12k experience, 7.5k gold. fact, it's a pretty massive lead from this early. The level advantage, not the biggest deal. I would say the one thing is that Ferrari is level 11, and that's got to be a concern. You dual lane a Venomancer as well as a Lifestealer mid. You don't want Ferrari to be the highest level here in the game. That is definitely a dual lane that failed. And I gotta say, I think MUFC should have played that more aggressively. It's hurting them now that they didn't. Nick, Ravage is pulled down, so IG bide their time. They really waited too long if they wanted to avoid the Ravage. But either way, Ferrari's going to look to clear out the creep wave here. Get that push going. Disruption to start. Nick charges in. Prophet ult bounce through. Gush on the YYF. Drops the ultimate. 1400 health as well as the cloak. Very tanky. Courage onto Nick, trying to kite him. Black hole, the maneuvering from Joe, but can they burst down Enigma? That's the goal. No, they don't get him, and there's the black hole going the other way. The damage, where is it for IG? A little bit lacking. They can't bring down Ling. Where is Ferrari in this fight? He's doing what he can, but he doesn't have that big damage item yet. Sharky takes the fall. There's your damage, and now he looks to continue the chase onto the high ground. In fact, this is a way too far to dive. They need him back in the fight. They should be able to get him. Ferrari rejoins it. In the end, though, 2 for 1. Ravage is used. Hand of God and Black Hole. All the big ultimates used there. Lifestealer, are you at my troll? Oh, he infested something.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Where, in fact, is he? He's inside of the troll. Oh my god, Lane is trapped inside of the troll. They can leave him there all game if they want to. Lane is gonna die. Oh, such a wasted. Oh, sometimes the world of Dota, it delights and surprises you. Now we've seen it all. Gives you a bit of epicness, gives you some comedy as well. Dota delivers in every department emotionally, guys. I just gotta say.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, for Lane, it's not. This is not a small deal. I think he spent his gold before he died, but that was at least a minute. I want to say where he's trapped in the troll, hoping that it's not noticed. But Chuan was on the money there. He was fully prepared for that. And Lane, you just chose the wrong creep. He tried to live. I wanted to live so bad, says Lane. In the end, he dies. I gotta say, you know it's trouble for your team when Joe, as the Enigma, has a blink and chooses and is able to walk up and use his ult after eating a Ravage. It's the disruption keeping him alive, it's the Chen heal as well. Oh, I don't know. It's looking pretty bleak for MUFC. What do they do now? I mean, really, where do you go from here? Your Prophet has not gone for any sort of farming build. No Aghanims, no Midas. Not even a pushing build like a Necro book, just pure support here. Mechanism picked up. Even a late Midas, it's going to be so long before he gets into the game. Nick, although he's the high farmer for your team, but what does he really have? Arcane Boots and Vanguard. He's just a really tanky Ravage. And even then, he can be burst down. We've seen Ferrari's minus armor, the meld really helps out in that department. And I feel like for MUFC, they just can't kill anyone fast enough. Chen with the mech, the heal. They need to focus Chuan. That's got to be the key to the next fight. But the issue is, can they really get in on him quickly enough? I mean, he's got the disruption if he ever gets into trouble. He's also got the heals from the Undying. He's also fairly tanky in his own right. 9 armor. The only real disable, in fact, the only stun for MUFC. And this is something I don't even know if I've mentioned it yet. But their only stun is Ravage. I mean, there's no way to stop TA aside from that. You can try and kite Ferrari. It's okay. The slows, they'll help. But they're not really a total solution, especially not with this haste room being up. Speaking of Ferrari, 1700 gold. Will it be a BKB? Or will it be a Deso? I think a Deso would be the better choice. But certainly BKB is not a slouch pickup. Can be very effective. And IG are going to go for this push. Even though Ferrari's top, remember, with that haste rune, he can charge in, look to join the fight, whatever angle he takes. He'll be there fairly quickly. Ferrari, he's there when you need him. Very cheesy car commercial tagline there for you. But net pressuring in that bottom lane. Joe, TP's in, has an invis, and this is big trouble for net. Big trouble for net. Joe even getting tree blocked with another TP coming in. Oh, net. Oh, boy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, net. Blake in by Ferrari. Malefice to follow. Net is dead. I was tempted to move the camera away before he even died, just to signify how dead he is. And there's your Desolator now. Templar Assassin picks it up. So guys, in case anyone's tuning in late, in case anyone's forgotten how this game began, it began with Ferrari sitting at 4 CS in that mid lane about 5-6 minutes in. Lifestealer up at 19 and 18, something along those lines. Some outrageously good score, especially in terms of denies, but man, look at Ferrari go. He has really catapulted himself back into the farm. Lumi spoke about Joe as sort of that other big farmer to try to stand up against Bernie in the Chinese scene between these two teams, but seems like Ferrari doing a pretty fantastic job himself. Desolator will be delivered now, and that may be cue for IG to go high ground. They have so many big items. Bloodstone for YYF, not the Vanguard. Just going for the mana regen, that quick respawn if you need it, and with Chuan on the team, able to send him back, able to heal him up.
Top tower has fallen.
You got to keep in mind, any HP numbers you see for this team, add that 200 and... what is it? 250 for the mech. Add the armor as well. Ferrari diving here. Look at TFG taking the big damage. The Desolator also a good pushing item. That's the other benefit I didn't mention, and it will bring the tower down quickly. The split happening top. Is IG gonna back? I feel like they can just go high ground, but no, they will CP back. MUFC buy themselves some time. Armlet up on the Lifestealer. He needs, at least to me, he needs one, probably two items to be able to deal with Templar. And the reason I say that is the Black Hole. If the Black Hole ever hits him, he's gonna take a lot of damage. Well, you can try and juke that with Infest. You can try and hope for a quick Ravage. But I think MUFC lack the burst damage, and I think that's what you need against Chen. You need it against Chen, you need it against some dying. Too much sustainability on the side of IG. If you don't burst these guys down, you're in a lot of trouble. Whereas for IG, I mean, it's sort of the same thing, but IG are ahead in items, and that's why it's even more pressing for MUFC to find that damage. And it's a late Midas for Net. And I gotta say, I think it's the right choice. It's regardless of how late it is, MUFC are behind, and the only way they win this is getting into that ultra late game. Use the Prophet to your advantage. Hope for the Lifestealer to get big enough that he can deal with Lanaya. If Lifestealer gets enough attack speed, Refraction won't really help, and with his built-in ability to leech back some life with open wounds, as well as Feast, he can stand toe-to-toe late game. I've definitely seen Lanaya struggle, especially if Lifestealer gets a Basher, maybe even a Mask of Madness. Can be very effective. Mask of Madness is a double-edged sword, of course. Against TA, with all her burst damage, all the minus armor, you will melt quickly. The maneuvering begins. All the lanes pressuring in, even with the Prophet. I mean, look at it. This lane's pushing, this lane's pushing, and this lane's pushing. And here we go, bottom lane. Initiation on Joe. Slow to start. Sharky taking some damage. Open wounds as well. Joe, BKB up on him, by the way. That's a huge pickup to have in this fight. Oh boy. Chuan maybe needs to be a bit farther back, though. They have to be careful. Ferrari, with that Aegis, doing some right clicks, just trying to bow down the creep wave for now. Net Blake up on him. Big items all around. And look at Ferrari. He's trying to cleave uphill. Or not cleave, but side blade uphill on a TFG. Gets the one hit. And it's Siege Wars right now. That's what we're seeing. Prophetry and Summon. Everything being thrown to try and slow this down. The wards as well. And in comes Ferrari. Doing the right clicks. Mowing down the... In fact, he's ignoring these. Just going onto the tower. Now keep in mind, Refraction is not going to do a whole lot here because of all these Plague Hordes, especially if they're microed properly. Trap is dropped just for a bit of slow. YYF comes in. YYF sips out. Thinks better of that one. If Joe ever decides to BKB and just blink in, that's 10 seconds for MUFC to run. They just can't go in on him. I mean, there's no way to deal with that. So maybe that's what we'll see out of IG. No, they back off. Huh. Apply some pressure, pull the enemy team back into their base, and then go top instead. Okay, they didn't like how they didn't like how bottom was going, so Joe comes top. Will MUFC punish this? They want the split push. No, they want to back. Now they want to go mid. MUFC, they can't decide what their favorite color is. They don't know what they want to eat. Little indecision, but you know, this is that point in the game where, for IG, again, whoever wins this match is guaranteed to advance to the playoff bracket with the number 2 seed in the group at least, if not a number 1, as they will be 2-1, tied with DK in terms of win. For IG, DK will have the head-to-head advantage, so I think DK will advance. But if MUFC win, they've beaten DK. No, DK's beaten both of them, so I think DK is guaranteed to be that number 1 seed. Either way, you advance for sure if you win this. You don't if you lose. So there's some implications here for the winning the prize money, getting to play more matches for both these teams. There is pride on the line as well, and well, here we go. IG didn't like the looks of things bottom, so they go top instead. The push happening on the bottom lane by Tide. Tide is not here. He's been seen as well. Crystal is picked up. Oh, and a DD for Ferrari. Oh, this is looking very bad for MUFC. BKB up on the Enigma, and I feel like Joe can just blink in BKB. As soon as MUFC start trying to stay on their ground, Ferrari charges in, and look at the Frax just start to melt down. Not using the DD just yet. When will he? Trap being dropped, everything just slowing things down. The Knights infest, the Tidehunter blinking Ravage does not get Joe, and there's your counter initiation. The heal from Chuan as well as the Soul Rip, bringing them all back to life, and man, nobody is dying just yet. 2 down for the Radiant. Oh boy, Ferrari is absolutely out of control. GG, MRNN. Chuan is mad, he has an axe to grind here with MUFC. Lane with the questions, but no answers. Little bit of smack talk between both of these teams. Well, it is certainly a rivalry at this point. I believe there may have been a girl involved behind this. That's what I've heard. Rumor mill. Either way, blink into the fountain. Enchantress already disconnected. Ferrari, wicked sick. The chat continues. Some feisty play from both teams. But guys, it is IG, the second Chinese team in this group. It's the Chinese who dominated. A little more fountain camping before it's all said and done. Ferrari gonna pad those stats as best he can. 8-1-3 for him. But it will be the Chinese. IG and DK, they both advance out of this group. DK wins the head-to-head matchup. I don't remember offhand if that's the #1 tiebreaker. I believe it is. So I believe DK will be your #1 seed. IG your #2. And then the question becomes, who is it? MUFC or Mouse who advance? MUFC beat Mouse, so I think it's MUFC. I think Mouse are officially knocked out. They needed DK to be the team they were tied with, but they don't get it. So I think Mouse will be eliminated now. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this. The best way to know for sure is go to dotacommentaries.com, as all the players have finally disconnected. And you'll see those updated standings. Also, follow Beyond the Summit on Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Summit. And that's your best way to keep track of the groups, the playoff brackets, as they start to shape up. That's going to do it for IG versus MUFC. Whew! I mean, this was a very slow game, all in all, but just great all-around individual play from IG. Better lanes, better individual play, better teamwork. They take the series 2-0, clearly having MUFC's number. The smack talk was there, but smack talk don't win games, and in the end, IG will advance along with DK out of this group for sure. MUFC or Mouse will be the third team. I am LD of dotacommentaries.com. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Big turnout all around. I really appreciate it. And by the way, if you missed